I hate the fact that Black people can't just be comfortable in their skins. And I think that they hate it too. And the fact that I bring it up is very agitating and it's sore for them. So you always find that when you've got trauma and you don't know how to deal with it, when someone brings it up, and I think that why have you never given us a chance? Why don't you put me there in parliament and see what I can do?
That's why I'm asking what could be done differently? Because the problem is
differently. You just give me the platform. That's the only thing. It's that fear. Let go of the fear and say, okay, NTSIKI, you've been talking too much for the past 20 years. Go ask because you don't know what I can do. But the weave girls that you've put in there, they've done nothing for you.
In a world where Africans have lost their roots, it has become of vital importance to document our ways. In an effort to reverse the brainwashing of the past, where we were made to believe our ways are demonic, we are pressed to create dignified and respectful platforms to unpack our spiritual ways.
The views and opinions expressed in this episode are those of the guest and do not necessarily reflect the beliefs or position of this channel, its hosts, or affiliates. This podcast is a platform for open discussions and exploration of various perspectives, including controversial and unconventional ideas. We encourage viewers to think critically, do their own research, and form their own opinions. The content is for informational and entertainment purposes only and should not be taken as fact, advice, or an endorsement of any specific viewpoint. Viewers' discretion is advised.
Afternoon, my name is Papano Pasha. I'm here with the indomitable NTSIKI Mazwai on her own platform, by the way. Now she has taken the hot seat because we have an opportunity to get to know NTSIKI, the NTSIKI beyond the social media pages, NTSIKI who's not combative, hopefully, but we really have an opportunity to engage with NTSIKI Mazwai because I believe that she's one of the most brilliant, misunderstood women in South Africa. Welcome, NTSIKI. How are you?
Thanks, Pabs.
Welcome to MOYA.
Thank you. It's such a privilege. Thank you so much.
How are you today?
Okay, so this year has been difficult. So I'm just waiting for it to finish. A lot is going on, but I'm resilient. I refuse to allow anybody who's trying to take my peace from me. So I'm just in a space of, when you have to draw a boundary around yourself and people can throw as many stones as they want. So I'm in that phase now where I'm just like, okay, I'm not going to allow anyone to disturb my peace. So I'm just focused on the podcast, focused on growth, focused on family, focused on re-educating the African child. Because I think that that's where our problem is, Yesterday I tweeted, I said, Africans have got a collective low self-esteem. And people got so defensive and, But the thing is that what we've been through as Black people has taken away our dignity, has stripped us off of our confidence. And I believe that the work we do, especially on MOYA, is to bring back the identity of ourselves. And once we discover our identity again, then we can find pride in ourselves. So, yeah, I think that's where I am. I'm just trying to figure out how we're going to fix what's broken inside us.
Who fixes NTSIKI? Because you're always trying to fix everyone. You're trying to deal with every issues. You're always taking on the mainstream Christianity, women, so who fixes NTSIKI? Because I just personally think that you are just an altruist. You care so much about the world. Have you taken time to care about yourself? Because, many people out there, they probably don't know that, you've got a master's qualification that you passed with Kamlad. You are a shining star. So some people might say that you should be in corporate, you should be leading somewhere. but you are forever fighting.
For blacks.
For black people.
I know.
Yes.
You know, perhaps, I don't even know how to answer that. Okay, first let's start at you said who takes care of Ntsiki. I do have a supportive family structure. I have sisters. So people often underestimate the power. Once you've got sisters, you don't need friends. People often underestimate what family can do for you. So I have got a very close relationship with my sisters, especially my older sister. My older sister, when things are going down, that's where I go. So I've got that. There's lots of women in my life. I'm one of those, I lost my mom early. So
I was going to ask you that question.
Yes. So as a result, I end up adopting mothers because I want that mother thingy. So I do have Mama Angola, Mama Kate, Mama Kanye. I literally just adopt women. So that is how I ensure that at least I'm cushioned in the work that I do, you know. But it's not easy. It's not easy. A lot of the time I do feel alone and misunderstood. I don't know, I suppose it's my spirituality that kind of keeps me sane. Because I do take care of spirit. I'm not in the streets, I'm not busy, I'm always at home, I'm always in nature. That's actually where I get my strength from, just from the natural elements. And I don't know. I also don't, you know, even like how you were saying, Guti, some people think I should be in corporate and I should be leading somewhere. It's true. It's true. And I think that it also speaks to South Africa and what we do when we have powerful women. So, I mean, I know now they're saying I am Winnie Mandela, but if you remember when Winnie Mandela was alive, they were not Winnie Mandela, you know what I'm saying? There was a time I remember on social media, for about 5 years before Mama Winnie died, on the 26th of September, every year I'd be like, guys, it's Winnie Mandela Day, guys, it's Winnie Mandela Day. And it was like, whatever. And then on the year just before she died, Pearl Thusi was releasing a book, not a book, something of hers was coming out, of those Queen Nani or what. And I was like, guys, it's Winnie Mandela Day. And just to spite me, they said, no, we're going to make it Pearl Thusi Day. So it's deep to be in a space, South Africa and where we are spiritually is a problem. Because if we loved ourselves, the powerful women would be in their rightful places. I'm not the only one who's facing this. All of us who are strong and brilliant, yourself, we're all going through this, you know? And it's so unfortunate because what's stopping South Africa from getting behind us? Because they follow us anyways. You know, there's this obsession around us. They follow what we're doing. They're like, oh, she's bitter, what. You're following me, which means I'm holding some kind of power. What would happen if they actually got behind us and they said, actually, yeah, let's put her there. Let's see what, you know, I feel as if South Africans don't do that. Instead, but they'll lie and they'll put on somebody else weaker than you or some man just to spite you as a strong woman. So I feel as if the opinion, especially the black girls, the opinionated black girl is an endangered species in South Africa, especially now even with this new trend of silencing. You know, the court systems are being used a lot to silence voices that are saying things that are, you know, and that's a threat to us. Women are the voice. Men don't really talk, guys. Women are the voice. So when it's silencing, it speaks to the silencing of women. So I think that we're in trouble. And I think that we're very performative about GBV. I mean, you saw now they were all wearing purple with their purple profile pictures. But right in front of their eyes, there's a lot of things going on, but they're not tackling the things that they're going on. You know, they protect the predators that they like. They protect, but they still put on purple profile pictures. They'll see a black girl in trouble, but they'll just keep quiet, you know? And I'm just like, oh, so your GBV is only like for PR, and when you must go march and all meet each other, I'm like, oh, chummy, you know? But when the girl's actually in trouble, when a girl comes out, it's not the same purple energy behind her. So, yeah, I'm worried about the black girl in South Africa and the fact that there's no safe space for her, especially the strong, opinionated black girl.
Yeah, but have you also accepted that your Peltusi of this world, Bonang Matebe, including your Somizis, that they represent the system? Because now you can imagine if you become mainstream, how many young people will be able to consume the education, you know, what you feed them in terms of, you spoke about spirituality, in terms of being a black woman who coexists with a black man, in terms of the materialistic society that we are living in. I mean, you are literally fighting the system. Do you think in order, or don't you think in order to capture more voices, perhaps you would need to change your strategy? I'm not saying what you're doing is wrong, but, you know, don't you think you need to find a way, you know, to appease, you know, some appeasement of some sort, because you are viewed as rebellious, you have been postured as radical. So your voice is needed out there, but do you think that perhaps you would need to change? Or if you change, you'd be conforming?
You know, the mainstream celebrity has got no content.
Of course.
Has got no depth. Has got no voice. So I would have to give up what I stand for, because I stand for the total liberation of Africans. I stand for the development of Africans, and I don't think that the system wants the development of Africans. They want celebrities that they can make sell alcohol to the people. I would never be an alcohol ambassador ever, just based on the principle of, oh my God, how can I use my entire influence
to distract, or how disruptive is alcohol to the black family, to black youth, to our communities?
Oh my God. So for me, that is actually the biggest one of, I'm just like, guys, you're helping them destroy us. So I think that the system needs to be able to sit at a round table with me on equal footing and hear me. And we meet each other halfway. And I'm like, this is what the black people need. They mustn't come to me and tell me this is what we're going to do for the black people. Because white people don't know what is needed for the black people. So if we get past that white supremacy and white arrogance that likes to think that they know better, that paternalistic approach to Africans, I want to get to the table as an equal. The other people that you're mentioning, they're okay with the gigs. I'm not okay with the gigs. I don't want the gigs, I want the economy.
And sexualizing young people as well. You know, extreme debauchery.
Yes.
You see them
Yes.
with Louis Vuitton bags.
Yes.
Just
materialistic.
Yes.
I'm not like that.
For one, if you look at the homosexual community, the battles that they fought in the 70s, you know, in the 80s, 90s, and post-1994, I mean, I'm not a big fan, you know, of how things have been done, but now how everything has been materialized and sexualized.
Yes.
And these young boys are not taught about the land question, about their responsibility.
Yes.
So for me, I think for you to come into that space and to start speaking about those issues, I think you really, really agitate. And many people do not want you on the table. But now I want to ask you this follow-up question to what you just said. Do you really think that white supremacy or white people are the problem? Because from what I have seen, the majority of people who tend to attack and undermine you are black people. So beyond the ideological issues, you know, don't you think that we as a people, or the black community, and those who are faces of blackness, because Pearl Thusi is a face of blackness, so is Bonang, so is Somizi, and the industry behind them, and the policymakers. So don't you think that those people are the ones, you know, who are hindering on the Tsiki of this world to speak out, you know, so that they can start attracting young people in terms of proper messaging?
The thing about myself is that I make you confront the blackness you're trying to run away from. So even these celebrities you're mentioning, they've reformed themselves into this Western, you know,
Like me.
you know? So why can it not be that I can show up on the world stage as myself? Why must I change and become like a white person? So when you say that people attack me for the same things, it's because it's difficult for all of us. We know that our blackness gets shut down. We know that as black girls, our hair has been shamed so much that now we are hiding it. So if I come, then I'm like, fuck that, guys. Why are you wearing things on your head? You know? It's like, no, you're attacking, you're attacking me because I've already been attacked about my hair. And, you know, so where's my place? So I'm making people confront this blackness that they had left behind. You know, when we go to the estates, there's a certain way we must dress, a certain way we must talk. Decorum. So, what is this thing where there's an identity that you have when you're around black people? There's a schizophrenia almost. Where you've got to... White people can just be themselves wherever they are. Right now we've got to go according to... Then, okay, oh, I'm going to a kasi. Oh, I must dress this way and then I must speak less English. Oh, gosh, now in their part, I must... Oh, gosh, now I'm going to Hyde Park. Oh, my God, I need to get my LV. I must be... So I hate the fact that black people can't just be comfortable in their skins. And I think that they hate it too. And the fact that I bring it up is very agitating and it's sore for them. So you always find that when you've got trauma and you don't know how to deal with it, when someone brings it up, and I think that
You've never brought that up with me, interestingly, and I've been on your platform on numerous occasions. But you know, the issue of my hair, for example, and you know, of course, yes, you are raising it, but you've never actually raised it in a very demeaning manner with me.
That's because I don't think it's the black girl's fault. I don't blame black people for what happened to them. But I am going to be the voice of, girl, do you know how pretty you are? Do you know how nice your hair is? You know? Like, I'm not here to attack my attack on the weave is not an attack on the black woman. It's an attack on the weave. And this supremacy system that has made the black girl think that she needs to have a weave when all the other races don't have to have weaves. The other races are wearing weaves that look like their own hair. But our hair has been demonized. And I'm just like, nah. I want to be unapologetically black. Black like singing space in and they must accept us as we are. Why needs change just to one of us change? Good insist change, guys. Even in those white schools, you know how much they used to abuse us, you know? Where you what's that language? Why are you speaking like that? The trauma that we went through in those schools, we've never really unpacked it. Where you're the one of 3 black girls. Do you know what it's like to be in a minority, guys? In a space where they believe they're superior. It's deep, you know? So psychologically, the black child has to, hey, there's a lot to process. You know, as a white child, you just go to school. It's just normal for you. But as the black child, your identity is questioned there. Now, hey, man, now you, even like Africans and Europeans have got different ways of moving.
But now, let me ask you this question because, of course, to be honest, I don't necessarily have an identity crisis, but perhaps I do. But when I look back, I mean, the days of Miriam Makeba. You had in the 60s,
Yes.
and the 70s.
Yes. There was a trend of black and
Yes.
proud
Black
that was
and-
coming from even the civil rights movement. Yes.
But you had icons like Miriam Makeba. Now, post-1994, a liberation movement takes power. The expectation is that it will deal with issues that you are raising, issues of identity.
Yes.
You know, black is beautiful, black and beautiful.
Yeah.
But now what we're seeing, for example, we see some of the leaders actually, and I just want to make an example with this. The African community is taken to court for wanting to teach their children Afrikaans. But our own leaders, who are supposed to be our liberators, they're not even imposing or enforcing our languages. What are you talking about? Because many, you must admit, what we see on TV, even if, for example, Peltusi can have that type of hair, many of us do not have that hair. You must agree that if you do not grow dreads, and if you don't use bleaching, those chemicals, if you don't use those chemicals,
The relaxer.
Yes, your hair seldom grows. So we do not have on TV women who look like us. You know?
We've never been given our hair a chance.
Of
guys.
course, no, but remember, what I'm trying to pose to you perhaps is leadership, especially liberation movements, are meant to liberate people.
Exactly.
Not only economically.
Exactly.
Because what you would have now, you have your gender parity, you have, you know, your material conditions that have been put in place. But what about the identity and the spirit? I mean, what would you not, you know, apportion some blame to those who lead us?
Absolutely.
Who claimed that they are going
Absolutely.
to liberate us?
First of all, ANC was not a Africanist movement. That's why Sobukwe left, dang it. So it's actually, it's the blacks who want to assimilate. And us black radicals, they're just like, guys, just come sit with the whites. You know, it's fine that they own the economy. It's fine. We'll just take the little crumbs. It's fine. Just like, you know, so... Oh, flip, now I've lost my...
Okay, I was saying that, don't you think that perhaps it's structural that black women are who they are because of what the perception engineering, what they
Absolutely.
see. But also, just to clarify, by the way, for Sobukwe to leave, there was a portion of young people within the ANC who considered and called themselves Africanists.
Yes.
And those young people were led
Yes.
by Anton Lembede,
Yes.
Yosubukwe,
Yes, Omta.
and many others. But then when the generation of Oliver Tambo and others decided to bring in, you know, white people and others, that's where there was contestation. So it was ideological.
Yes.
And
The
and so forth.
charterists.
Oh, the charterists.
Yes, it leads up to the charterists.
Yes.
So for me, that's not black liberation. I feel as if Indians can come to the table in their garb and themselves, Lidi Muslim, Lima Khoa, why can't we also show up at the table as ourselves? Why are we the only race that has to change ourselves to sit at the table? No other race is changing themselves.
But no one is forcing us to change. I mean, we buy weaves. I mean, weaves, it's $1 billion industry. No one is actually forcing us.
You know what? It's what there's this new word you guys were using about when they were trying to when the media starts to PR. It's the word they were using when Helen Zilla, consensual.
Oh, okay.
When they're saying that they PR it so much that you think that you decided that.
Yes.
So when it comes to hair and the images of black women we've seen, magazines, TV, on big platforms, they've always only platformed the weave girls.
Of course.
And made them special. And then the natural ones are known as radical and opinionated.
Or light in complexion.
Exactly,
Yes.
you see.
Not Nubian girls.
So as a black girl, as you're watching what beauty is, the system is telling you, no, it's a weave, it's light skin, it's skinny. Yeah, you know, but they did nicely on Glamour magazine, on Cosmo, on True Love, nicely. But platforms like that, if you're going to say true love, why are you not putting on authentic black women on the cover, aren't there, who are not imitating whiteness? Because that's what black women need. White women have got magazines that cater to them and say this is what the white standards are, and they've got their own things. We've also got our own black women beauty. So it starts there. It starts there. It starts at corporate when they're like, oh, your hair, can't you make it a little bit more professional?
Actually.
Starts at school.
At school, when they tell our children that they must not come with their...
You see.
But anyways...
So this assault happens from...
Yes.
That's why we hate ourselves.
Of course, yes. But I think also on this one, I also have to blame us as parents because we take our kids to those white schools.
But where else are we going to take them? That's the problem. Is that the way things are set up, Makhuwa have always had access to the economy and built these things, even though it's on our resources. We don't have access to economy, guys. We've been the slaves. So they've got budgets of 5 billion. Now we've got the 5,000 rand we get every month. So in our areas, nothing's going to develop because we don't have the access to the resources to build our own schools. And when we speak about the economy, you know, do you know that less than 1% of the economy is black owned? Less than 1%. That means all these trillions that people keep talking about when they're talking about economic news, so they've got resources. That's why AfriForum can build things, because they came, but they are lefasi, then they took wealth, because a lot of people are like, what are you going to do with the land? If the land was not so important, they wouldn't be trying to hang on to it so tightly. So the land does matter. If it doesn't matter, then the whites must bring back the land, because it doesn't matter, I guess. So that's where they get their wealth from. Umnotho is in the land. So if you've got resources, we don't even have land to go and build these schools.
Okay, let me just try to give other facts, and you will correct me here. Over 2 billion leave our townships every month.
Yes.
It's December, as we're having this conversation. Our people are going to spend billions on alcohol.
Yep.
But over and above that, you have the tender system, which gives our people, you know, millions and billions. So, no, of course. Remember, now we are saying that whites are the problem. But now what I'm trying to speak to is it's not as if black people do not have some resources. Don't you also think it's where we spend the resources
I definitely think so. And it comes back to the identity crisis, I get, because your self-esteem and self-worth has been so diminished that now you need to show Mboneng, which no, I'm not a poor black. I'm not like the other blacks, because black is poverty, right? So you're trying to move away from that. You're like, no, I'm not the other. So you're going to put on the clothes to show that you're different. But that speaks to the fact that who are the leaders? Where are the leaders that were meant to do this training that we're talking about? Where now we unpack what was the trauma that was done to African people? How do we reverse that trauma? Because I always used to make this advantage. If the water in the bath is too hot, you add cold water, I get. So that's what we need. We need to add whatever is missing in us. So you can't take a damaged person and then give them resources. They're not going to know what to do with those resources. So we still need to start here. We need to build our self-esteem to know that even this whole thing of needing body iPhone, needing LV to validate you. If you were okay in yourself, the iPhone wouldn't be the validation. It would just be a thing.
Okay, now let me take the African community. Of course, they've got their own history.
And the land.
Yes. But when they took the land, or let me just say, when they took on power, political power, because they did not also have economic power, when they took over 1910, this were a group of people who were primarily very poor. But with the Buddha Bond and other sectors, they were able...
Buddha Bond is almost a state capture. Do we agree?
No, we'll get to that. But what I'm trying to say is they were able to seed and say beyond the state, how do we create, industries where Afrikaners would be able to thrive. Because at the time, the economy was still owned and controlled by the English. So now, being a leader, because you are a leader, what do you think you can do differently to start educating our people, or do we still have to immerse ourselves in victimhood?
It's not even about victimhood, it's just about reality. So when you make the Afrikaner example, Afrikaners also created laws that dispossessed us of land, that forced us to relinquish our wealth, essentially, so that they could thrive. So there were tricks and gimmicks used against us by the Afrikaners to get to where they are. So it's not like it's some authentic, organic thing
Of
where
course, yes.
the Afrikaners now,
Of course, yes.
they were so clever. No, they stole. So the issue now in the today industry, because that's where the tension is that black people are like, are we going to do the same thing? But the danger is that because the black person, the black DNA is the oldest DNA on the planet, we are the parent race. So automatically what happens is that we mother and father the other races. So we are not, it's very unlikely that we're going to do what white people did to us, because white people are the last born race of humanity. So they're going to behave like spoiled last born. Even the traits, you see them, it's like that. Even with the black people, you see the traces of, I'm older, and actually I know it's not supposed to be like this, and that's why we do Ubuntu and stuff, because genetically and biologically we're older than these people. So we're stuck at the moment because we don't have the leaders who are going to have those conversations, the real conversations on how are we going to reverse, or how are going to give back.
They've given us trillions, by the way. There are black people who have had billions in their hands. As we speak,
It's one or two, guys.
It's not. On a monthly basis, you have thousands of black people who benefit, either from BEE, affirmative action, EE.
We can't have whites giving people
and
money.
So forth. But it's been, what I'm trying to say, Nsiki, it's been 30 years. And it's 30 years of political power. What have we done with that political power?
No, I agree with you. ANC was trash. I agree with you. They messed it up. But like I said to you, ANC was never Africanist. So their ideologies were never about the collective. They're almost anti-poor. So it's just rhetoric, you know? So the issue is that we needed leadership that is for everybody. Because I think also white people panic to be like, okay, when we do this Africanist thing, what does it mean for white people? Does it mean now we must... The thing about Africanist is that it's based on Ubuntu. The premise of we're all going to make sure that everybody's taken care of. So we need black leadership that's going to have that conversation with white people. And white people don't need to give money. I disagree with that. I think that white people need to develop the townships. They need to go make sure that their services, the things that are happening in townships, where now this money that you stole, you also need to go give back into those communities, because we are in the townships. So let's put in the swimming pools, the tennis courts, the community centers, so the kids are not doing drugs and stuff. Let's make sure that if Masipala is not cleaning, the white people must come on the weekend. All of them come with their gloves and their bags to come and clean and show Guti, I'm part of South Africa, I'm part of us, and I want all of us to grow. I'm not going to sit in my corner of privilege. I'm going to give also. So this thing where even the tenders, you know what? Some white people have got proper evergreen tenders. What black people are eating is a fraction, a very small fraction of what Makhoa are eating. So even when you say about Tokyo Sekhwale, guys, I don't know how you know the numbers. How many black people are in South Africa?
Over 60 million.
So you can't take 5 people, Tokyo Sekhwale, Patrice Motsepe, Ramaphosa, and then say, no, but look.
Okay, let me juxtapose this. Every Sunday and probably every week, black people give millions to their pastors,
Yes.
especially on Sundays. Afrikaners put their 50 rands to building a
Developing.
university.
Yep.
And then you've got stockpiles, which are worth billions. What I'm trying to speak to is the agency of
And the leadership crisis.
Yes, of black people, because of course there is no oppressor who's going to liberate you. I think.
Yes.
I think with that one we must accept
Yes,
it.
absolutely.
Yes,
You take your freedom.
Yes, to the extent that in the townships we have allowed the drugs to come in because we know the drug dealers. The drug dealers are our neighbors. You know, we have allowed, you know, the labantu abasalutshwala. You know, there's alcohol in every corner. There's alcohol. Someone who's selling
We're
alcohol.
damaged.
Yes, there's a church and so forth. So what I'm trying to figure out is, where is the agency of black people? Because it's as if, you know, when you're engaging with an abusive man, or men in particular, and expect them to understand your plight as an African woman, because they've got that sense of entitlement. So why do you think white people would want, you know, to really liberate us? Do you think it's normal or possible?
That's why it's not about white people. That's why I said the leadership, it's us. It's our self-esteem. It's our dignity that is lost. So when are we going to get the leaders that are black conscious and Africanist to help us love ourselves so we get to the table dignified as ourselves? Right now, we're getting to the table as these junkies who are broken, and it's that behavior.
What would you do differently?
Okay. So, like we said, it starts at the foundational school level, right? I think that, before we even get to school, I think that we need therapy. I think that the country has been through a lot, and it's quite a unique thing. It's not, we're different to other countries, guys. So, and what we've been through also shows us that there's things that we need to work on. I feel like white people should be forced to do some cultural class, even once a month. They should be forced to be able to speak an indigenous language. It shouldn't be a choice, or it's something that must be forced. It must be able to be checked. Did you go do this thing where you learn about the people of this land and you learn about how things work here? Because you can't get to somebody's house and then want to do things your way, and then we get a bitiri about the people who are housing you. You understand? So there's a white supremacist arrogance thing that we need to tackle through this therapy, where white people need to learn about the cultures in this country.
Okay, may I ask you a question? So Desmond Tutu, the late Desmond Tutu, headed a group of people who worked on the TRC. And part of the TRC commission, part of their recommendation was that some of the apartheid leaders, they should be arrested or trialed. Some of the business leaders who benefited from apartheid, the same thing. Now, when they gave that report to President Mbeki, when President Mbeki was in Parliament, and when he was speaking to the recommendations, he then said that we cannot anger the investors.
Yeah, what?
Now, some people at the time also spoke about reparations. That's why I'm coming back to this question. Are white people, or are people, the problem? And what is your view on reparations as well?
My view is that Jews are still getting reparations to this day. What is it about us that we don't deserve it? And reparations can come in different forms. It can come in the form that I'm saying, where the white people go and give back. If you know you're privileged, because we also, another conversation we're not having is that, hey, if you go to like Mopinoni and by the airport side, the whites are so poor there as well. So it's not like poverty and being poor is a black thing anymore. We have a classist issue. We've got a rich-poor problem in South Africa. And the rich, it's the responsibility of the rich to ensure that the poor are at least a little bit comfortable so that the rich can hold on to their riches. Because for as long as there's this discomfort here, down here, where people are hungry, what you have is under threat. That's why they panic all the time, moodly. They wouldn't need to do all those panics if they just covered the basics. And when we look at the basics, we look at Maslow's hierarchy. Okay? So food and a roof over your head. And the thing is that I don't deliberately try to antagonize. You know, and you're just being yourself, but it affects people. And I think that's something that people also need to unpack a bit.
The ANC spends over 20 billion, I believe, on social grants every month. Instead of giving people, money for social grants, don't you think that perhaps that money could go towards, industries, building?
I was about to say,
yes, building industries. Yes, as well as when we speak about food parcels. I mean,
But the danger, okay, I hear you now when you say we should be building industries, but kuna libo Rupert who are blocking the market from us entering. So it's not that easy.
Which market?
Any market.
No,
any market, there's barriers to entry for black people. Like if you want to start a bank, it's going to be damn hard for you to be able to start it. If you even want to open a ganja store, there's a license that you must pay 200,000 for. We don't have access to these licenses that you need to start up things.
Okay. And those licenses, is it white people or is it our government? Is it the Department of Trade and Industry and Competition? Is it not that department that is responsible for some of those licenses, including your South African Reserve Bank and others? And it's black people who are in charge.
No, black people are not in charge, guys. If
Really?
black people are not in charge because, first of all, isn't the Reserve Bank privately owned from what we've heard?
Not necessarily, of course, partially.
So it means that whoever is the Grootman there gets to choose which blacks can come in. And we've got different types of blacks. We've got the ones that are going to be bust John and assimilate and it's fine. Then you've got the radical blacks who are going to be like, no, fuck that shit. We need to bring more black people into this. So it's telling that the white system chooses a certain palatable black. It's telling. It shouldn't be like that. We don't have that privilege to choose the palatable whites. Like I say, whites get to the table as themselves. We need to get to the table as ourselves. That's what we're fighting for.
Okay, so the assumption is that black people are homogeneous. Is that what you're saying? Because
No.
Yes, you spoke about the growing number of poor whites. It's not a huge number, but it's a growing number.
Yeah.
Don't you think that number is growing because now we have a new black elite which is growing, especially from the political elite as well?
I don't know if the black elite is growing as much as white investors have grown.
Yeah.
Like, especially in Cyril's term, the only person who's really won is white business.
But Cyril is black.
That's why I was saying the problem is that the system chooses the blacks to lead us. So they would choose a Cyril who's going to protect their assets. They won't choose an Adile Mkutama per se. But we know amongst ourselves that that's a leader, right? We've seen him lead us do the right things. But he is pushed out the system deliberately.
Okay, here's another question, and I'm asking you this question deliberately. BLF contested elections. Black people did not vote for BLF.
That's because it didn't have enough marketing budgets, just like DA. Like, isn't it weird for people that this DA that is not the biggest party, but when it's campaign time, you can see how expensive. You'll see billboards that stretch across the whole highway. BLF can't afford that, guys. So white people have got an economic advantage over us. BLF can't afford the marketing, the PR, the billboards. Then obviously, as black people, we're like, oh no, because you don't want to be associated with this small struggling thing. So they just play us up against each other. That's what I'm saying. How is DA having these incredibly amazing campaigns when they're not the biggest party? It means that the people who own the economy a DA.
Okay.
Because if the people who own the economy were ANC or another thing, we would see that money in those parties.
Okay. I'm deliberately, asking these questions because what I've also learned in being in politics for a very long time is that people want to hear what they want to hear. I think I've told you that before. And what people want to hear is conformity. People are scared of change, I'm trying to say that people also, as much as we need more NTSIKI Mazwais out there, but people are scared
for them.
of a NTSIKI Mazwai. They just want a proper professional woman who wears a suit and has that type of hair.
Yes.
They're also scared of an Andile Mqitama, because
Where has that gotten us though? Like
that's another thing. That's
why have you never given us a chance? Why don't you put me there in parliament and see what I can do?
That's why I'm asking what could be done differently, because the problem is
differently. You just give me the platform. That's only it's that fear. Let go of the fear and say, okay, NTSIKI, you've been talking too much for the past 20 years. Go asbone kutuzoyenzani. Because you don't know what I can do. But the weave girls that you've put in there, they've done nothing for you.
Yeah, because I'm saying this because if you were to put NTSIKI and also put your Ket Matlala, I'm just saying whether Ket Matlala is a male.
Yes.
But based on what Ket says, which appeals to the people, And this morning I was watching a documentary about Aristotle and Socrates. And what Socrates says about democracy. I'm not sure if you're aware that he was killed because during that era, they used to say that he was agitating and poisoning young people. But what Socrates in particular says about democracy is that it's a farce. He explains why idiots or fools always lead. And he says it's because they say what people want to hear. He also says that politicians are actors. They are on the stage and someone has a script.
Yep.
Someone writes them
Giving
a
it
script.
to them. We saw that with the 2020 drama.
Yes, and what they say conclusively is that people who try to be different never win. That is their conclusion. So that's why I'm saying that.
What about Chairman Mao? Because he was radical and he just closed everything. He was like, okay, we're closing all the cultures. We're just going to focus on Chinese culture only for the next mang years. And then China emerged as a superpower. That's exactly what we need.
Unfortunately, Chairman Mao died in 1977 or 78. And when he died, over 1 million or more than that litany of Chinese were poor. That's why the Chinese Communist Party actually adopted what they called opening up and reform, which was literally a capitalist system, but in a way that everyone who was Chinese had to work. There was no time for weaves, for makeup. Every Chinese had to work. But we also inherited a system which has cushioned us. We do have laws, and those laws for an emerging economy, some people might say that they cannot work. You also have minimum wage. Other people will fight for minimum wage. But the reality is that we have minimum wage where we don't control or where we don't own the jobs. We are job takers. So for me, I think also those are conversations for me which are quite interesting because we have also adopted, first world policies. Of course, like women, we've got rights which we appreciate. But
we've always had rights. It's just that how white people look at whites and look at black. We need to stop looking at ourselves with a white gaze. Mam Kanye always says this, Guti, when they came to Africa, they were like, look at these lazy men. Look, why is it the women in the fields? Look at the men are just chilling there. They didn't realize that through observation and African sciences, we had already realized that women go with the land. And I'm sure you've heard me say this in other podcasts too about our period, how it nourishes the land. So you'll get more, if there's more harvest. No, it's honestly, you can look this up. So that's why women, because when our blood drops on the land, it goes like this.
Really?
Yes.
I've never tried it.
No, go do your research. So that's why women were in the field, and ever since, if you've noticed, when the men took over, we're not harvesting anymore because you've removed the women from the land. So my point was that white people come in and look at our cultures and they think they know better, and they're like, oh, what's this? Oh, the women are abused. And it's actually, it wasn't abuse. It's not abuse. It's Africans have lived so peacefully before, and we come from matriarchal lines, which means that women have always been important in Africa. So when whites come in and like, oh, the women are abused, they're so submissive, that's a white gaze. Because we are not abused. We were not abused. Abuse, it's like no, live on us. When the power dynamics start coming in, when the white man starts dominating the black man, and now the black man has to dominate us, they brought the toxic energy into the family, the black family space. But naturally, everybody knew their rules. Even with the queer community, we had no hate for queers. We understood that ngumtu and everybody is human. That's why we don't have he or she in our culture, because it was like, I came out. Oh, okay. This one's different. And you've seen that in our communities, especially if you go to the rural areas. When someone's different, it's not a big drama. Everyone's just like, oh, you know, it's just.
Yeah, but what do you do differently? Because you raise an interesting point, especially about women. Now you have the majority of women who are social grants earners. Our women do not work anymore. How would you change that? How if you had an opportunity to lead, what would you do differently?
The thing that we never talk about is how did we get to these social grants? Guys, when we had land and we were growing our own food and we had our cows, we didn't rely on social grants because the land was feeding us. Then we were kicked off the land, and our land is our food. So that's why we're relying on social grants. It comes from the Land Act dispossessing us of where we get our food. So we need to change completely the way, even the materialism. I mean, when you look at the ANC and the leaders and just the whole, what it looks like it looks ugly. And I don't see why they can't see that it's ugly, but that whole crass materialism lifestyle, it tells us that we've got the wrong leaders. It tells us that when we, the people, told them to go fetch umnoto and go look after us, they went then and started eating. They didn't do what was supposed to be done. So a lot of our problem is ANC leadership and what they did.
Because the leadership, the ANC, in fact, it controls billions from social development. Now, what I'm trying to get to is, if you had access, because the billions are there, but those billions, they actually go towards social grants. They go towards your 700, your 800 rands. Now, if you had access to that money, because the money is there, what would you do differently again? Because I think I did not articulate my point properly. With women and also with rural people. Because what we are seeing now is rural people, and many of them who have land, they leave rural areas. They no longer work the fields, you know, they no longer work the land. That's why you see many of them leaving rural provinces, looking for better pastures. You know, you see, if you go to Cape Town, you see how inhuman people are living from the Eastern Cape, who come from the Eastern Cape. In Gauteng, you see the many people who are from Limpopo and the manner in which they are living, but when they go back home, they've got the houses because they repatriate the money that they get from Gauteng to Limpopo. But these people do not hold Eastern Cape and Limpopo leaders accountable. So what would you do differently with this budget? Because the budget is there. What is it that we are doing wrong? What is it that the ANC cannot get right?
I think it might be less about giving away money and more about putting the money into projects that are going to sustain communities. You know, identifying what our issues are. Like we were talking earlier on, like we know that in the townships, drugs are a problem. That's why I said, when are we going to develop tennis courts, swimming pools, this, to keep libraries, to keep people busy? Because our people are depressed.
In Pimville, didn't you have a tennis court, by the way, when you were growing up?
We did.
I had a tennis court in Dobsonville.
We did.
And it's not even funny because it was, in the 90s, and we had those things.
Yes. And have you noticed the dignity that comes with, DK, just, So when the space around you is nice, you're going to start acting nice. You're going to start acting the space. So the problem is that when you even look at Kolokshin, look how filthy it is. How are you expecting people who live in a filthy space to feel good about themselves and walk tall? They're just going to take in what's happening. They're going to take it. That's why it's so important to work on the environments where all the poor communities are. That's where we need to develop. We need to develop those, even like, I feel as if neighborhoods, there used to be neighborhood protection structures. People know their own leaders and they know what they need. We just need to support what they're asking for.
I dare you to do exactly what you're saying now, what you expect from others. Do you think you can take on the challenge?
Okay, in what sense? Because I don't have social budget money. Social what?
I
don't exactly. I'm Chonchanga, But for me, how I would want to exercise that agency is I want the white people to come and come to my table. I actually don't want to go. They must come to my table. Then I'm like, here, we need to fix here. Because communities have got their leaders, guys. There's not one messiah. There are leaders in pockets everywhere. If you go to Shawela.
So white people have actually given money to wrong black people.
Yes.
May we say that?
Yes, we may say that. We may say that. Because white people choose the blacks who are not leaders, who are just going to listen to them, the compliant blacks.
Are they not scared of
And
Ntsiki?
that's problematic.
Are they not,
what are they scared of?
Are they not scared of you?
What are they scared of? Because all I'm going to do is show them the mirror of the truth and be like, okay, let's go fix. Because your ancestors did actually fuck up.
Okay.
So let's go and fix. I'm not here saying we're going to kick you out or we're going to kill you. I'm saying, guys, people are suffering because you are privileged. How are you privileged going to now just do, like I said, the basics? It's food and a roof over your head.
So we build houses. Oh, they must build houses, or what must happen?
Yes, even there is, people do need houses, and it's disgusting what's happening with the RDP stuff and stuff. Also, it makes me sad the type of houses that we build for ourselves. When you look at the social houses of other countries, it's nice. I saw the RDP house like Russia, guys, like the flats, and I was just like, why do our black people like to do the bare minimum?
Because they steal the money. But then also, if I may ask you, I mean, I said something last week and people deemed me to be xenophobic in a way. But we grew up, I mean, Pimville was better, by the way, but where I grew up in Dobsonville, it was a 2-bedroom house, and each yard, the land was quite small. So I've always thought that perhaps people who come from the townships, they've got a caged mentality. Because unlike, rural people, they'll be living now in December and they're going to their big houses. Now, what I'm trying to draw now is the irony is that when they work here or when they live here, they live in inhuman and dehumanizing conditions. But at the same time, you find that a person from Soweto would say that I myself do not have, or people who stay, 7 people who stay in that 2-bedroom house, they would say that, oh, we do not have this RDP house. So what else can we do to ensure that our people, they become their own liberators, economically, socially? Is there a possibility that we can help our people to start building their own houses? You give them land, perhaps, portion of land, and they start doing things for themselves. Because the reality is that as much as You can encourage people to come to Gauteng. What about rural provinces? Why are we not building economies in rural provinces? Why do people continue to vote for Oscar Mabuyane? They vote for people, who exploit them. So what would you do? I mean, do you think this idea
There's a lack of leadership again. Because value, you're spot on. Why are there no industries being created in the different provinces, And
why are they not asking? Please tell me, why is it that millions of people who live, because unlike my grandfather came to Joburg looking for work at the mines. There were no opportunities. Why is it that people who come from rural provinces now, born and bred, why are they not making these leaders accountable, but they continue to, give them power? As I said, you go to the Western Cape. Wow. Of course, yes, we call Helen Zille names. But those people who are staying in those shacks, which are inhuman, in those conditions, they come from the Eastern Cape and they vote for Oscar Mabuyane. So please, what do you think
we are
needs
so
to
brain
be?
damaged. We are so brain damaged. We are traumatized. Even you, on an individual level, when you are going through trauma, you make bad decisions. As women, at our lowest self-esteem, we sleep around.
Of course.
When you're in a bad space. So the issue is that we're in a bad space. That's why there's so much alcoholism right now. You can see that people are living for getting drunk on the weekend. Literally, that's what's happening. We see it on social media. That's what we're seeing. We're not seeing anybody build anything. We're just seeing amashipin pop up. That's our idea of industries. It's creating bokonga, where people are going to drink. And have this culture of sugar daddies and transactional. Like, where is our moral, principled leadership?
But, you are a voice of reason amongst many other people who are there. And I've been on different platforms and I've asked people, of course, yes, what needs to be done. But when would you, because now you are in a comfortable space, and one could consider you a philosopher as well, because sometimes, your responsibility is to speak and help people, but the expectation is that people must, of course, liberate themselves. But don't you think that South Africa needs NTSIKI MAZWAI as a voice? And more NTSIKI MAZWAIs, of course, and more Mechabalala and many other women, righteous women, morally upright women.
Morally upright, guys. Moral authority, that is what's missing from all the leaders. How is a Fikile Mbalula going to tell me anything? How is a Gayton going to tell me anything? How these people that are accused of corruption and PPE, how are they going to tell me anything?
And that time NTSIKI has never stolen a
That's the
single
thing.
cent from the state.
That's
Yet
what
you are always accused, number one, because of peripheral issues. People who steal from the state, who steal money for food, social grants, you can name it. They are leading us. So please, NTSIKI, take on this challenge, because I think there is an opportunity, to change the trajectory of our country. Listening to your ideas, I hear great ideas, especially on identity, because I think for my girl children, you can save them, I think for many young people, they can be saved. I think for many of us, it's going to be difficult for you to convince me that I will be comfortable with my short hair, which refuses to grow. I think also, you then, when you look at the mirror, you tell yourself that you're not beautiful with your hair. So it's going to be difficult. Of course, yes, we can work the mind to say that with that weave, your mind must be in place, as long as you know your identity, because I think for us, we are just lost, to be honest.
It doesn't help that we've got the Zionists who are funding celebrities, and celebrities who don't have also moral authority. So what is placed as black excellence or black success was curated almost by dirty money.
Of course.
So when do we get to choose our own heroes? Because we know who ours are. We know who our heroes are. They'll tell you, go to, oh man, this one is doing this who is looking after the community. We know. But the problem is that the whites are coming to us and feeding us leaders. And those leaders are not leaders. They're not leaders. None of them. None of them.
So you're saying Fikile is a product of whiteness, let's say the top 7, Julius Malema, Floyd Shivambo.
They're a product of funding, of investors.
But let's say you go into politics in Siki, because I think that's the direction that I'm driving into now. You are definitely going to need funding. And the challenge is black individuals do not fund black leaders and black
They haven't even
political...
funded this podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so blacks are not trying to... And that's so sad because it makes me sad that these black diamonds and black excellence would rather spend their money on booze than on the education of an African child. I'm like, you guys are spending 20,000 at the club. You can't even give 2,000 to MOYA.
No, but I think they've helped you because here you are, you're still standing, you've got a huge audience, many people listen to you. So I think there's a huge opportunity to grow from here. They've actually saved you because if some of them would have given you money, they would have wanted to drive you into a particular direction. So now you are still, you are a virgin. In comparison to the leadership that is there, if we were to put you and those people, I think there is still
I'm
light.
clean. I'm too clean for governments, actually. That's wild. Imagine being too clean because it's so filthy up there.
Is it a South African thing, though? Do you think the manner in which we steal, the manner in which we kill each other? I'm told another witness just died today, was just killed. And sometimes I get scared for you because you are so outspoken. And people would say, no, but Unsiki, they would speak about your father, assuming that they know, things that are happening in the background. So I get scared that with your voice, people might want to deal with you. So I really don't know. Don't you get scared sometimes?
Sometimes I'm just like, hey, anything could because of... And the thing is that I don't deliberately try to antagonize. And you're just being yourself, but it affects people. And I think that's something that people also need to unpack a bit. We come from... Africa is the land of mystery and magic. And we had healers. We had Bokaido Muta. We have healers. So because we've been going to the white schools, we've forgotten to leave a space for our healers. Like in isiXhosa culture, uba imbongi. You can be imbongi yosiba, which is a mbongi that just is a writer. Then there's a term that... Yes. Then there's imbongi yomthonyama. And what imbongi yomthonyama is that it is believed it's the poet that gets possessed by spirits. And it's not me talking, it's spirits talking. So in our culture, we actually had room for people like me. It's just that we've moved into this Western thing where now you don't know how to identify me. I'm this. In the beginning, there was the word. So we understand the spiritual power of the word.
Vumani bo, but have you understood the essence?
What?
Vumani, I believe it. Say the word, and say that you believe it. Have you taken note of
deep?
Extremely deep, extremely deep.
Our spirituality is so deep. So we had room for people like me. I'm not the first. I would say I have come before. I'm not the first to be this type of entity in a society. And in African culture, they know me. You guys just don't know me because you've been following white people and white people don't know your culture. And now it's this confusing thing, Wuti, what's this? If you went back to your roots, you'd understand. Go to, oh, okay, I abantu abadala. Oh, uqalile futhi mamiya. Mamiya. That's all we need to leave it at. Because it's not like I'm there instigating and I'm just like, yo, this is what I feel. So it's not like it's a planned where I'm galvanating or... That's what I'm saying. Umbongi Mtonyama is a poet that is possessed by abantu abadala.
So
and it's them speaking. It's calling. It's them speaking. It's not me. Half the time I don't even know what I said that upset people. Half the time I don't even know what I said. You know. So.
But you say the truth most of the time. It's just what people don't want to hear. So 2026. What's going to happen? Any chance for marriage? Is there a partner? I think people would like to know that.
What I have learned in this social media world is that you don't put your business in the street.
Oh, yes. That's why I'm not on Twitter. Is it
yes,
called X or Twitter?
Now I always call it Twitter.
Oh, yes.
I don't recognize Elon.
No.
So if you've noticed, I never talk about my family. I don't talk about love. I don't put things I care about in the public domain because people ruin good things. So I don't want anyone to know
there. It's
anything.
going to happen. It might happen because people love you, you know. And I think people who embrace you for who you are, they also want to see good things. Yes. So I'm quite sure that there is, you know, there is that person, and yeah, we can leave it right there. Ntsiki, I think we're closer to the end of the show. Now, what I would like to also ask you now is the question of spirituality. I'm not a spiritual person, and I really do not have problems of spirituality. I think. I think I have my.
Everyone's different.
Yes, but how do you think that spirituality can save our country?
I think that it's a foundation for goodness. The world is good and bad, guys. Evil people are here with us. We are sharing the space with them. So you do need to hold on to something that's going to keep you and protect you from the evil eye. So when you don't have spirituality, you tend to blow with the wind and you're more vulnerable to anything happening. So, I mean, as much as you say you're not spiritual, I'm sure that inside you have an inner voice that looks after you. And that is what spirituality is. It's just about that inner voice that's guiding you, your conscience, right? And your conscience being good. Because your conscience...
I don't believe, adults have had me so much when I was a child that I don't believe in adults. So I think for me, that's why, even ancestors, because I grew up under bad women, bad. So I just...
Trauma.
Yes, so for me, it's something inside so strong. I don't know how I'm doing it, but I'm just doing it. So that's me now.
I also think that a spiritual journey, I mean, it happens over your lifetime. You don't need to know, even in your 40s, you don't need to know that stuff. But somewhere along the line, you will have that awakening of, okay, who am I? What's my purpose here? Because that's what spirituality is about. It's about, what am I going to give to the world? How am I here to serve the world? And I think that's what's missing in our political leaders. They're not here to serve.
Of course.
So they don't... My understanding of leadership, which I think is the reason that I'm so poor, is that you first take care of everybody else
before you take care of yourself.
It's not even about taking care of... Once you've taken care of everybody else, they're going to take care of you. That's what a leader is. I don't need to go and I need to empower the people. And then they're going to be like, okay, here's Ntsiki's section. Everybody puts in Ntsiki's section. So for me, leadership is about service. It's about, what am I giving to my community? What am I going to leave behind here? Because I'm not here for the Maserati, the Ferrari, the Louis Vuitton. They don't do anything for community. But I will be happy to know that when I die, the black girl is gonna feel better about being a black girl. Like, I'm hoping, well, if I had to die young, I'm hoping that...
God forbid.
God forbid. I'm hoping that the women will know that week everybody's going natural. And it'll just happen because they'll know, they'll be like, oh, Nziki represented this. So I feel as if it's important for a human being to know, what's your legacy? I find that a lot of privileged kids, they think it's enough that they come from money, and then they show off what they've got and, ooh, look, ooh. But when you die, that doesn't really matter. No one's even going to talk about it. No one's going to talk about your BM. No one's going to talk about your G-Wagon. They're going to talk about what impact did you have in the world? Which part of yourself did you leave in the world? So a lot of people in this generation are just dying because nobody's living with purpose. No one is here to serve. The people we remember are the people who served us. We remember Winnie Mandela because she served us. We remember Bantu Biko because he served us. We remember Sobuko because he served us. We remember Charlotte Maxwell because she served us.
Are you deliberately omitting Nelson Mandela?
I'm waiting. I've always been a Winnie Mandela side. I'm a petty bitch. I'm a very petty bitch. So, an injury to one.
There's an injury
to all. It's an injury to all, Baba. I will never forgive you. So.
Okay, now, I just, there's something that I've picked up. Many people who do, bahlabela medlozi, bahlabela madimu, or those abathwasayo, some of them, they go to Mozambique, Zim, they go as far as West Africa. The reason I'm asking this, I want to ask this question actually, is because many of our people, they look at the continent, they look at the country as if it's not part of the continent. Don't you think there's a reason why many people continuously go inside the continent to seek for better knowledge and wisdom?
South Africa is a coconut, babe. South Africa is a coconut. We are the only black in the room. That's who South Africa is. So if you want the essence of Africa, you're going to have to get out of it. That's where we are. But here, we've been contaminated. We're non-racial.
What about the very fact that perhaps some of us, I know for a fact, I mean, my grandfather was from Botswana, from my mother's side. But I still believe that he was not from Botswana because he was extremely tall. So the likelihood is that he might have been from Rwanda. And I'm not even ashamed.
And you can actually see.
Yes. And then when it comes to my father's side, my father is Pedi, of course. But Limpopo is not our ancestral land because our people trekked to Limpopo. So if you, I mean, if you go through our history, Sekwati, Tabani,
up and down Africa, guys.
Yes, so,
up and down.
So many of them come this side, from the northwest, which is Gauteng. So Limpopo is not my ancestral home. So many people do not understand when I don't identify with Limpopo, not because of anything, but because I know where my ancestors come from. Don't you think that that's one of the problems why we in South Africa, as so-called black Africans, we don't control the economy, as you said, the land, because we don't know who we are.
Our identity crisis, mama.
And we hate those who look like us.
Yes.
Have you seen how South Africans hate Africans? Have you seen the anger towards Africans?
Self-hate. Self-hate, because they remind us of us. When I look at you, I see myself. I see my poverty. I see that I'm not white. I see that I'm not white, and you are here to reflect it. So it's devastating. It's devastating what's happened. That's why we need this black consciousness to be instilled in us so that we build our dignity and we're okay, because once you're okay inside, you're going to be okay with everybody else. There's no, it's not normal for you to look at somebody else and hate them. It's just not normal, guys.
I totally agree. Any last thought?
I don't think so. I enjoyed this. Thank you so much.
No, it was my pleasure, and I just want to say to the viewers at home, I think Tsiki has spoken on many instances on how she's poor. I don't think that she's poor. I think we have an opportunity to build this platform. It's a very powerful platform that needs all of us. So I'm just going to ask all of you, let's support Umoya. It's a powerful platform, especially for young people like ourselves internally, who are trying to learn about spirituality, our Africanness and our identity. To Sis NTSIKI MAZWAI, thank you so much. It was an honor. It was a pleasure. You are a beautiful soul and you're going places. No one is going to stop you. Those who are first are going to be last, as the Bible says. So your place is still coming and you truly deserve it. Thank you so much.
Oh, Tamaku. Thank you.
Goodbye.
They want you to say, see you again next time.
See you again next time.
With a
okay. Thank you so much.
Who are you when all you were has been diluted by lies and white lines cancelling out all that which has been written of your history? Why do you look at yourself as a mystery? Doesn't the sun shine because you open your eyes? Doesn't the moon stay situated within the same stars your DNA sparkles off? Your spirit knows that surely corner into e off. Buza umoya so you may return to being well off. Because spiritually you are rich, yet your ancestors cry because you are out of reach. But yours is to command all elements while God takes inspiration from the very mirror she looked at to become. Remember who you are and never finish just when they think that with you they are done.